If you enjoy the content, I would appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and checking out my socials. Like a phoenix from the flames, G2 rised above the ashes in the Blast World 22 finals, with Nuke being their best map, taking no losses in recent memory. With them being an outstanding team on Nuke, they need someone they can trust to defend lobby against CTs hungry to repossess map control. Hey, I'm Smirky, and today I want to look at JKS and how he holds lobby on the T side of Nuke, so let's begin. But want to get individual training and CS classes for 30 days for 1 cent on your first month?
Affirmative.
Well, thanks to today's sponsor, Cosimo Academy, you can.
Yes, my friends, yes!
Cosimo Academy is the CS school where you can join frequent classes hosted by various pro players and coaches. In these classes, you can submit demos in the Discord to be reviewed and critiqued by the coaches, or join them in theory sessions on a map. And I will also be hosting some of these sessions myself. On top of this, they host weekly scrims where you can jump into a 5v5 with coaches on both teams, helping you during and after the game.
Our enemies tremble.
This entire course is $29 per month, but again, you can try the course for pretty much free for 30 days by using code SMIRKY at checkout, which equates to 12 classes. Now go on and rank up. Now let me show you what JKS does at the start of the round. Typically at the start of the round, JKS will typically find ways to pressure A, and he will do this by throwing a HE to blow off the door and a Molotov for main, and he will also combine this with a spam. With all of this put together, including the hook Molotov, it can be hard to peek off information on Squeaky to find out what G2 are doing. In round 6 we can see the exact same thing. He's going to throw his Molotov, go for a spam, but in this round he's going to get caught off guard by Rops. And that's something you do need to be aware of, as since you're creating so much noise in lobby, it can allow a play like this from Rops to happen. There are also scenarios where you need to be aware of a hook push, since it's pretty common when taking lobby. In round 15, JKS is defaulting, goes for a spam, when suddenly Vitality swing out. However, he will hit the critical shots onto Spinks and Dupree. And it's worth noting you don't have to just spam main, you can also spam the vent next to Squeaky. I will say spamming this is a bit harder since your spray control needs to be tight, however it should have the same effect, slowing down CT players into your Molotov. But once he's done pressuring Squeaky, he will find a position to play. Now there are some rounds where JKS doesn't want to spam and he wants to go for a fight. Take round 11 as a good example. In this round he's going to blow off the door, then he will move behind the boxes getting ready for a fight. But unfortunately in this round he doesn't get anything and Karrakan's going to run right past him, but he will get caught. And whenever the CTs throw a smoke like this towards Squeaky, it's not a bad idea just to spam behind it, as on quite a few scenarios, the CTs will be using the smoke to cross behind it, or perhaps get behind it to spam back. Round 14, JKS again is going to go for a peek, however he's going to lose the fight. This is something I saw from Tizian, but if you do want to go for a fight, this is something you can do. At the start of the round, if you come over and do this HE, I said if you do this HE, mark on main and then you can jump on these boxes. And these boxes should serve you as a nice off angle for any CTs wanting to peek you. Now it's very common to see scenarios where JKS doesn't pressure Squeaky, and most commonly, this will be due to it being an anti-eco. So, how should you play your anti-ecos? In this round, FaZe have a very bad buy, so JKS isn't going to pressure the door. He's not going to throw any utility, and will position himself in Squeaky with 2 other lobby players. I'm not going to go too in depth about the position he's playing right now, as I will do that later in the video, but this setup they have is pretty nice. If they open the door, JKS can swing out and attack. If they rush out ramp, Monacy should be able to assist. And Hooksy has Hook covered. But if you are playing in lobby all by yourself and you think it's an eco or a force buy, you could play this position. In this round, JKS isn't going to throw any utility and will make his way onto T roof, positioning himself like this. From this position, he's not open to any squeaky or ramp angles and is mainly focusing on the hook push. And if Vitality aren't moving too quickly and JKS is very reactive, he should be able to drop the lead onto their noggins. However, there may be times when you need to come back into lobby after playing this angle, so JKS has some good clears you can use. In this round, he's going to drop into main, and he will slowly clear his angles, first clearing Squeaky, the off angle, obviously Hut, then he can start moving his way out, not wanting to get caught by a deagle, and not start a snowball in favour of Vitality. Now I'm going to move on to positioning, and how JKS position himself into each different part of lobby, Squeaky, Hut, and ramp. However, before I do that, I want to quickly let you know that whenever JKS does move from position to position, he needs to be really silent, and he tends to change position once or twice around. This A makes it difficult for the CTs to track him, as they don't know where he's going to be since he's so silent. It's harder for him to get caught on a timing if he's not changing positions constantly, and if he is, he's doing it very, very slowly.
Can we have something a little bit more interesting?
Now, for our positioning, let me show you how JKS plays towards Squeaky. There are quite a few scenarios where JKS will play close to the CT smoke. And likely he's doing this because he wants to prevent the CTs from pushing into the smoke, as well as get nice and close, getting ready for it to fade. In this round, JKS was waiting for a very long time, occasionally checking his back to make sure he doesn't get flanked from ramp. Once the smoke is faded, he slowly peeks out Squeaky, where he does some serious damage. Now with CTs pushing, it can be pretty common to see CTs to hide on the left side of this deep Squeaky smoke. As for them, it can be really convenient and easy to slip through and deal some damage themselves. In this round, we can see JKS will make his way through, however I don't think he is aware as he should be. As well, he gets caught off by Dupree and his crosshair wasn't in the right place. Now alternatively, JKS may play pretty far back on Squeaky, typically behind these orange boxes. These orange boxes can serve a nice cover, as you can use it to peek into A, or you can cover yourself to hold Hut. In this round, he's holding this nice little angle, waiting for any A players to peek into him. However, when there's contact on ramp, JKS will go for the spam, which Twist is very close into catching. But once Twist does go for the peek, he gets dealt with, and he will play pretty far back against the wall, getting ready for any A players to go for a trade. Now if Squeaky's close or smoked off, this can be a brilliant angle to play, as in this angle, you're watching towards Hut, getting ready for any players to swing out, and for them, this can be a pretty difficult angle to clear, as when you move out, you have so many different angles to clear, and you just have to watch the one. However, if the CTs push through Squeaky, you should be able to hear it, swing out, and get the kill. However, if Squeaky is smoked off, it can be difficult to know if the CTs are pushing, so if I was you, I would do some occasional checks to make sure they're not pushing. And you do also need to be aware that whenever you do hold towards Hut and the door is blown open, your barrel can be visible, so again at times, it's good for you to peek out if the door is blown off. And speaking of peeking into Squeaky, in this round, JKS is playing far back against the wall and he's watching the smoke fade, getting ready for anyone to enter his crosshair. And in this round, when he gets a slight glimpse of rain, he's ready to go for the fight, and he will put the man advantage in favour of G2. Now, what are some of the angles you can play for Hut? Let's take a look. Starting with playing really close. On some occasions, JKS may play really close onto Hut, making it difficult for the CTs to peek out. In this round, he's just got 2 kills, and he will slowly make his way over to Hut and have a quick peek onto A, likely wanting to go for some information. But once he doesn't see anything, he will position himself like this, again ready to catch CTs trying to walk out. However, personally, I think this position is too predictable and easy to clear with the enemy's crosshair. However, I much prefer this one, where he's playing a weird angle that they may not be expecting, especially in the lower ranks. And if you are playing close onto hut, you can also spam Tetris by looking at this part, by looking above this square and start shooting, and this will catch any players on Tetris. Just like Squeaky, there are also scenarios where JKS will play far back, typically putting himself in some sort of weird off angle. In this round, his team is grouped up towards lobby, so he will just hold hut, playing an angle like this, slightly moving around, making it difficult for the CTs to pre-aim him. And with this clip I showed you at the start of the video, we can see JKS is playing a similar angle, and he's able to get 2 kills off this. I will say a lot of this in this round is due to JKS's amazing mechanics. However, his position did play a part in this, as Spinks had no idea where to aim. And it's also worth noting JKS may play a similar angle, however he puts the angle really tightly, like in round 10. This angle is really effective against players trying to sneak out really slowly out of hut, as when they do it, they're going to be walking so slowly that JKS will have enough time to shoot them, but the angle is so obscure and so tight, it's going to be difficult for them to see him and hit him. And even though he doesn't exactly play it in this round, round 8 is a really good example, as when he slowly moves across, he catches Brokey on this tight angle. Now, I've already showed this at the start of the video, so I'm not going to go into it too in depth, but again, if you're solo in lobby, you can play a position like this against an anti-eco, or maybe on a regular buy. Now, before I move on to ramp, I want to show you some quick positions JKS may play that covers most areas. And this is really useful for you to play if you're solo on lobby. In this round, JKS is going to go up the ladder and play a position like this. If players are walking out of hut, he should either A, should be able to hear it, or B, see their barrel as they come out of this angle or this angle, and it's very unlikely he gets checked. As well, there's a lot more other angles they need to clear first. And if the door is closed and they decide to come through it, you should be able to hear it and reposition yourself for a fight. Personally, this is my favourite angle to play on Nuke lobby, as from here, it has the same effects as the last one, but it's much easier to see players walking out of hut, as you can see their barrel first and just peek out onto them. But let's say in one round you reposition him from Squeaky, but you want to have a similar effect without going up the ladder and risking it. You can play this angle, where in this round, JKS puts his back against the wall next to hut, and again, this position has a similar effect. But I will say, I feel like it's a lot easier for you to get spotted on hut, unlike the previous angles where you could see their barrel before they see you. But again, this position can be situational, and something you can float to if you need it. Now let's take a look at our last position on ramp. Once JKS is done pressuring Squeaky, he likes to come over to ramp and play this position. But it is worth noting, you only really want to cross to this position if there is a smoke down. Else, you might be walking into an AWP or into a CT's crosshair. But by JKS standing on top of these chairs, the CT's crosshair may be nowhere near him once it fades. But once JKS has spotted nothing, he will just stay in this position. In round 10 against Vitality, this position is going to be super effective. Once again, JKS is waiting for the smoke, and he's going to stay here for a very long time. So long in fact that when Apex goes to take a lobby control, in reaction to G2 taken outside, he gets completely caught off guard. A good position you could play is inside a radio, and this position allows you to float from position to position without risking it too much having to cross ramp. From this angle, he can catch anyone trying to peek out, and if he needs to, he can peek out towards hut or make his way into a different position if he wants to. But when G2 wants to take ramp control, he's going to take lead and he will slowly clear trophy room just in case anyone decided to push. Now, typically once per game, JKS will try to lurk out of ramp. But to be fair, both attempts have been unsuccessful. In this round, he's playing towards the chairs, where he will slowly start pushing out once G2 start taking outside control. He's going to slowly clear his angles, one by one, making sure he doesn't overlook something, but when he tries to walk out, he's going to get completely caught off guard by this pretty nasty off angle from Robs. In round 8, again, G2 are taking outside control, so due to this, JKS will try to lurk out, but gets caught off by Zyresorb. And yeah, this play is pretty hard, especially against Norpa, as well, you're just walking dry into it. I also want to quickly highlight a round that I really liked from JKS. In this round, he's defaulting towards ramp, where he starts spamming the smoke and gets the kill onto Apex. Since he's just killed an A player so early into the round, he will take advantage of this by taking that map control away from Vitality, given so many options hooks he can use on the T side. Now lastly, we've seen JKS pressure door at the start of the round, however it's pretty common for him to pressure door during the mid round. So let's have a look at that. He will typically pressure Squeaky, so he can create a distraction on one side of the map while his team goes down the other. Round 5 is a good example. In round 5, G2 are wanting to go down secret, so as the lobby player, JKS will try to stall the rotations by first smoking off main, and for this lineup I'm not too sure what he's using, so if you do know, put it in the comments. Then he will just throw a Molotov towards CT vents. And even if it delays the CTs by 5 seconds, it should give enough time for G2 to get into position and start pushing their way through lower. And in this round, it benefits really well for Nico. As well, they're distracted on A, Nico swings out, gets the first kill on terrain, then catches Twist running through JKS's smoke, then he can challenge Heaven. Meanwhile on door, since all the CTs are now scattered, JKS can just lurk out and well, finish the 2 remaining players. And that's why on the T side of Nuke, it is so important that you abuse the CT rotations and allow your other players to go through the gaps and snap on the opportunities. In round 10, G2 are wanting to go down secret, so due to this, he'll smoke off main, molly CT vents, and then throw some flashbangs, making FaZe think that it's an A execute, but it's only going to delay them as his team goes down secret. But once he's thrown the util, he's just going to be lurking around in lobby, making it difficult for FaZe Clan to take lobby control as a reaction to G2 taking secret. And even if you have one play down secret or your entire team, faking A util can be pretty effective, because again, it gets their attention away from lower, gets them slightly distracted, while the rest of your team finds that gap and pushes their way through. But unfortunately in this round, JKS tries to hold lobby, but Twist will get the better of him. After watching both of JKS's demos, I've noticed he can really pressure. JKS has a few tricks up his sleeve to mask outside presence. This, in turn, could surprise the CTs when suddenly it's an A execute, creating confusion on the CT defense. He's unpredictable, he consistently switches up his positions to the point where it's nearly impossible to guess where he's playing. Lastly, he's patient. It's common to see him sit in a spot for a very long period, or maybe slightly switch his positions up once or twice around. By him waiting, it reduces the chance of him getting caught by timing if he decides to switch positions. Anubis has recently been pushed into the map pool, and that means you need some strats you can use on the T side. Check this video I did about Heroic's anti-eco A split, where they took mid control really quickly, then split onto a helpless A site. That video can be found in the description. Apart from that, thanks for watching, see you in a bit.